Hi. Hopefully got some sound issues sorted out today. Ross here again, Scottish safety guy. You like how I'm trying to put that across as that's my name, Scottish safety guy. It's not yet. I've only just enrolled in my master's course and thought I'd give a brief update on what's happened in week one. So with the University of Strathclyde, I'm studying remotely. And I was introduced to Zoom this week. Never used Zoom before. I know lots of people used it during the pandemic, but civil servants, our systems weren't developed or permitted to use Zoom. We used Teams or we used Skype. So Wednesday, 1 o'clock, I had my induction, and that induction was on Zoom. Is there a thing somewhere on Zoom that says, click here to enable a microphone or click here to enable sound? It turns out that there was when I went on to the laptop later on, but trying to do it on my phone, it certainly didn't work first time. Bit of embarrassment. But it turned out that the induction session was a chalk and talk. It was an introduction from the lead teaching fellow, and he was just telling us folk who are not used to studying what to do, how to do it, and how to make sure that we get it right. A whole bunch of ancillary information on how to write professionally in an academic manner, how to classify your work, how to reference your work, and how to succeed and how to learn. I was once told that a degree is simply teaching yourself how to learn something. And after induction week, it looks as if that might be the case, that it's just teaching myself how to learn things. So we've got a lot of different exercises over the next few months that will lead us towards our final piece of work. And if we complete all these exercises, then we should have built up the knowledge, the expertise, the ability to ferret information from certain areas to such an extent as to allow us to hopefully pass the full module. I heard this and thought, will I be able to do it? And then over the last couple of days, I have heard from a lot of different people about confidence. What came as a surprise to some people that I was speaking to earlier on in the week, I said, I'm not confident at all. And they claimed that, well, you must be, Ross, because you go into these meetings and you're not afraid to stand up for other people, you're not afraid to stand up for what's right, and you do that with, I can't remember the phrase they used, but for want of a better phrase, you do that with aplomb, you do that nicely. They seem to suggest that I often comport myself well in meetings that would put other people into a nervous state. We discussed that a little bit and said, no, I'm always a bag of nerves. Of course, it comes across to people that I'm not, because I'll happily talk anywhere, I'll confidently talk anywhere. Let's just lock that there. Sorry, I'm just figuring out how to, there we go. Just figuring out how to film things still. Yeah, it transpires that people perceive that I'm confident because of the way that I often hold myself in meetings. Of course, if you're watching this video, you possibly know me, and you probably do. I've got no followers, that's fine. You probably know that I'm not overly confident, and it made me think, where does our confidence come from? Where do we lose our confidence? And what have I got to say about it before I start this journey? I'm recording it just now so that I have a line in the sand to say, here's where I was when I started. And I might revisit it. You know, that somebody watched a video. Thank you very much for watching the videos. One of my best pals watched the video and he went, yeah, it was good. You really do go on a bit though, Ross, don't you? what else would we expect from you? Correct. So I'll try and keep them a wee bit shorter. But I'm recording these videos mostly for myself, I suppose, so that should I feel the urge in a year, 2 years, 3 years' time, I can look back and see where I've come from and whether or not there's been any tangible improvement in self-perception, knowledge, whatever else. The question of confidence, though, made me think of a couple of examples. So my son is away mountain biking today. He has just texted into the fam chat to say, had an accident, going a bit hard at it, came off a run somewhere, hit essentially an iron pedestal and a wee bit concussed. Of course, in the fam chat, there's me wanting to know various things about, what medical symptoms are being presented in order that I can sit here and make an assessment on how I think he is. His mum, my better half, was sitting thinking, we need to convince this boy to get a safer hobby. And I thought back to when I was younger. Now, I'm not a risk taker. I'm not particularly dynamic. I am not into, if we're out in boats, I don't need to be the fastest. We do some cold water therapy. I don't need to stay in the water the longest. I'm not in a chat. I'm not in a competition with anyone else. And I always think that I never ever have been. But throughout this week, thinking about confidence, I reckon that actually I probably have been in competition. At school, I was a bit of a fat, swat kid. The only problem with that is I wasn't as academic as I thought I was. So I was just a bit of a fat kid, bit odd, didn't fit into any particular social group. That was okay, that was fine. Because I had the weekends where I was my true self and met friends and we went water skiing, and I thought about one particular example, and anyone that was there at the time will remember this and laugh. I remember it now as a safety professional of some years and recoil in horror. Oh, the thought of this happening in a workplace is just awful. This is why workplaces are so much safer than out and about. In workplaces, we've got rules, we've got regulations. The rules are there to protect the stupid. The rules are there to protect those who are unaware of what the risks are arising from hazards that they simply can't see. Out with a bunch of people, and we decided to go parakiting or parasending or parasailing or whatever you would call it. Taking a big parachute, dragged along behind a boat, and you go up in the air. Of course, the parachute to go up in the air is not the same as a parachute that you jump out of a plane with, but that didn't matter because one of the crew had got their hands on a parachute. And we looked at photos of a parakite, the one that takes you up the way, and cut some extra holes in the parachute. Right, that should be good to go. Who's going to volunteer? Anyone? No volunteers? Ah, well, Ross will do it then. No problem. So, parachute, harness, 200 foot of polyprop rope, and a big old bayliner, a big speedboat. So, run number one. This was on my lunchtime. I was, 15, 14, 16, something about that. This was on my lunchtime. I was working in a wee shop, just as a wee part-time summer job. And went down, wetsuit on, harness on, and attached to this parakite. Right, hit it. People behind holding the parachute to try and get some air into it. I'm harnessed in with a polyprop rope coming from the chest. And the boat owner, well, never done this before, obviously need to go fast to make the parachute go up the way. Hit it. And they put the foot down, for want of a better boaty term. They put the throttle down and took off. We watched the polyprop rope unfurl in front of us, and eventually people holding the parachute said, "Right, run!" So I, pretty much a similar shape and size to I am just now, ran along the beach, and the parachute turned and it dragged me along the top of the water, battered along the top of the water, until the person driving the boat realised that it's not going anywhere. It's only dragging along the ground, along the water. So we went back to the shore, eventually, after having been battered at 30, 40, 50 miles an hour across the water. Back to the shore, and we decided that what we'd done was we'd put the parachute on upside down. So we turned it round the other way, and we tried again. Hit it. The boat took off, the polyprop unfurled, and right, run, Ross. So ran down, and we got to the water's edge just as the polyprop pulled my chest, and we went shooting directly up into the air, so fast. Got to the top, and this is it. We are parasailing, parakiting, whatever you would care to call it. Got to the top, the parachute turned 180 and rocketed straight back down to the water. You know what? Let's do pi and all that stuff. So probably about 170 feet straight down ish, 150 feet straight down. Absolutely whacked the water. The rope coiled round my neck, and of course, as I was going down, the boat driver thought, we need to go a wee bit faster to make it go back up the way. So we had a bunch of equipment that wasn't the right equipment. We had no knowledge but a good idea of what we possibly should be doing. We had somebody who was willing to give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? And we just got on with things. Fast forward a few years, and getting into a boat now, before I step onto a boat, I'll make sure that I have my life jacket on. I'll make sure that the person driving the boat knows that I am an experienced person on a boat and there's nothing to prove to me. And remember, you don't need to go fast and yada, yada, yada. I make the rules known before I get on. I am far more risk averse in that type of what I now understand after 15 years of being in the Coast Guard. I probably shouldn't mention the Coast Guard at the same time as that previous story. After a number of years of being in the Coast Guard, though, I am aware of many of the risks. After a number of years of having grown up since first becoming the test pilot there, I'm aware of the risks. So is it being aware of the risks that makes us risk averse? Is it confidence that allows us to take risks? My son earlier on, as I said, rattling down a downhill mountain bike slope or track in Fort William, where the World Cycling Championships were recently held. He came off and he hit his head, concussed, etc. But in the fam chat, I'm fine. At what point does it change from I'm fine, what's the worst that could happen, to right, let's think this through before we start? I'm not quite sure, and that's partly why I'm doing this video or these videos. I am not sure if the fear of the course is greater than it needs to be. And I want to record the fact that at the start of the course I was apprehensive, and I want to be able to look back and see that I have either done well or not. And as I said, during the week, I've been speaking to people at work who said, "Oh, you're so brave, Ross, going on and putting these videos on YouTube." No, I'm not. It's just a video. Yeah, but people will see it. Yeah, they will. But what if people leave negative comments? Well, if they leave negative comments, they leave negative comments. Do they make a difference to me? And this started a conversation of, Ross, you are confident because these comments, you're telling us that these comments won't make a difference. Of course they will. If I see negative comments on here, I'll pour over them the same as anyone else. But I'm fully aware that the only people that ought to have any say in making a difference in my life are those who have tried the same sort of experiences before me and can tell me about it. Those who are close to me and make a genuine, meaningful difference to my life, be they close friends or family. And really, anyone else online. Everyone's going to have, what does it say? Opinions are like arseholes, everyone's got one. Everyone will have an opinion about me spending, 16 minutes, 43 seconds so far, talking about parakiting when I'm starting this course. What's that got to do with safety? The opinions do matter to me. The opinions will help me form my own thoughts on how I'm getting on in life, what I'm doing well, what I need to improve on. And the only people that I need to improve, the only people that I need to take into consideration when I'm considering improvement or otherwise are those who are directly affected by my acts or omissions. So doing this master's course, I'm doing it for me. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm not doing it because I have to. I was asked, are you doing this so that you can get better promotion prospects? No. The thing that's going to allow me to continue my promotion journey, should I choose to do that, is my professionalism, my commitment, my behavioural skills. The fact that I've got a degree, or a postgrad degree, a master's degree, is unlikely to make a difference to the price of cheese. As you know, especially in the civil service, people look at applications based on what you write rather than what you've done before. So it's not for promotion. It's not so that I can fit in with, I don't have a peer network in my current role anyway, where people are qualified to this level. I've got nobody else to live up to. I'm doing it for me. To challenge myself. You know, I've always, I think I probably said in the last video, I think that I'm professional. Let's see if we can live up to the levels of professionalism that the master's course requires. I'm doing it to challenge myself. I'm doing it to demonstrate to myself that I can. And if I can't, oh well, that's a shame. It's obviously a skill set that I don't possess. My family won't think any differently of me. My close friends won't think any differently of me. And anyone online who suggests that my failure is something to laugh at, well, that's fine. If that's what you need to do to get you through the day, crack on. But for me, it doesn't make a difference. I'll either do it or I'll not do it. If I do it, fantastic. Doesn't make me any better or any worse than the next person. And if I don't do it, fantastic. I gave it a go. And failure to make it doesn't make me any better or any worse than the next person. And that not having the fear of failure is, I think, what leads to confidence. Back when I went parakiting, I didn't have a fear of failure then. There are older people around about who've done this kind of thing before. I trust them. Okay, I was wrong to trust them. We ended up, I had some serious injuries after that, some significant bruising, especially bruising around my neck from where the rope had got me. Nobody died. More by good luck than good judgment. So now that we're starting here, the fear of failure, it's not a fear. It's just simply a matter of fact. We'll either do it or we'll not do it. Either way, it won't stop me from being who I am. It won't stop me from following guiding principles in my life, and it won't stop me from supporting my family, my friends, and hopefully chasing professional attainment, professionalism. That's today's thoughts. Just in case you're wondering, my son is all right, mild concussion, but we have been reminded today, as a result of other activities that have taken place there, that dangerous sports are dangerous. So if you are partaking in any sport, please do listen to those who've gone before and learn from experience. That's certainly what I'm hoping to do on my course here. I am a considered safety professional of some number of years standing. I've never had the opportunity for this academic achievement, so I'll just listen to the people that have done it before and see how we go. All in the aim of leading to my brand of safety, allowing people to, as I said, be safe, be kind, be you. Take care. And the work starts this week coming, and I'll let you know next week how we get on. Thanks for watching.